welcome to the Spirit Essence Show. I'm Tara Diana, an empowerment medium who brings together the power of three people that associate and participate in body, mind, and spirit. And I love bringing the people to you. And today I am super happy to have a very good friend, someone that I just adore on all levels. And Ramona Rose Glow, welcome to my space, beautiful.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here.
I just want to put this out there. I get the opportunity as an empowerment medium, as a mentor to other people doing the work. I've done this work for 22 plus years. It's cray. I mean, I've done it my whole life, but professionally 22 years. I come across people every once in a while that just fill my heart with joy. And Ramona, when you walk into a room, girlfriend, I'm telling you, you just bring joy. And we were talking about that last night at the FUSC, the church service, the spiritualist church. We were talking about joy frequency with intuitive medium Nancy Brady. And that's what, you know, if someone says joy frequency, I think of you. So welcome again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I feel the same when I get together with you. Just
okay, now that we've boosted each other up, we're feeling good, we're feeling powerful. Let's talk a little bit, Ro, about who you are and what you do in terms of the metaphysical world. What is Rose Glow?
So Rose Glow is a place to come when you are looking for some peace, when you're looking for, you know, that healing energy. You're just looking for that little bit more in your life. And that's kind of what I've dedicated myself to.
I love that. What are your modalities though? What are you working with?
So I work with cards. I'm a card reader, an Akashics Records Reader. Say that 10 times fast. I am a medium, a psychic, an energy worker, and I am a Reiki therapist. Funny, yes. I'm calling.
Wow, look at you.
I met an actual therapist at the 𝐔𝐩𝐬𝐬𝐳 Wellness Club, and he asked me the same question, you know, what do you do? And I said, I'm a Reiki, and I struggled with it. And he said, a therapist. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And he said, well, energy work is therapy. So if you're doing Reiki, that's energy work. You're a therapist. I was like, taking it, I'm running with it. Sounds good.
I like it. Yeah. Do you remember Harbinder when he said to me, oh, I practice energy manipulation? And I was like, wow, we don't use the word manipulation.
Yeah, it sounds so negative.
Except for it doesn't. Now that I say it, it flows. I'm like, oh, we are energy manipulators.
Yeah.
I mean, it only is negative if we make it negative.
Exactly. That's what and I'm sorry, I forget his name now, but that's what he had said. You know, I said, oh, I shy away from that term therapist. It just seems so educated and so, you know what I mean? Not that I'm not educated, but you know what I mean? Like a therapist is like a doctor, you know? And he was all like, well, no, not really. You're helping people through energy work. So that's what therapy is, just helping people work through whatever they got to work through.
Love it though.
Okay.
We'll take it. We'll
so
take
now
it.
I got to change all my business cards.
I really do like that. And because I've done some work with you on building your platform and your business, I know where you're going. So when you said that, I was like, damn, girl, I love it. I'm here for that. So I love that.
I love that.
So tell us why energy work though. I mean, you are the full package. I mean, you listed off almost every modality that there is to work with in the metaphysical world. And remember, all of us can, you know, I mean, I do all that, except for I do 𝐔𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐳 instead of Reiki, but my niche is mediumship. Right. Your niche seems to be the energetic body work. Can you tell us a little bit why you think that is?
I think honestly, it's because I'm drawn to and I'm attracted to energy, and not just the positive. You know, I as an empath, as most of us are who do this kind of work, I do sort of sense and feel the lower vibrations, the lower energy. And I tend to gravitate there, like wanting to share the positive stuff. Yeah. So it's almost like an addiction in a way, but I think it's a healthy one because I'm sharing the positivity. I'm sharing the energy that I just have naturally always had, you know, and I'm like, hey, I got plenty to spare. So here you go, you know, and so it's just kind of become the main focus, I guess, of what I do is just helping people through energy work.
One of the things that I believe people don't necessarily understand when we talk about energy work is, what does what does it really mean? You're talking about energy, and we can't see energy. So how is this palpable? How is this material? It's not. It is a belief structure that is based on actual people's experiences of shifting and changing what's going on within one's body, as well as what's going on around us. We all have that aura, right? And I'm looking at your logo in the back, and there's the chakras all right there. There's the lotus flower, which is the unfolding, and when we can recognize that working on our energy etherically, so within ourselves, is so powerful to how we present ourselves outwardly. It's just phenomenal. And the fact that we have people that are willing to do that for others that maybe don't one, fully understand it, two, don't have the time to learn it, right? Sometimes people would rather you or I do the work for them, and that's fine, because what happens is they learn as they go.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So you, though, again, I'm going to say this with my full chest. When you come into a room, you shift energy in a positive way. So we're all empaths. And the fact that you're drawn to those that need you, that is exactly what an empath's supposed to do. We're not supposed to just suck everything back from everyone, because that doesn't serve us anything in anything.
Yeah.
So I love that for you.
And I think just to add on to that, I think that was maybe part of my quote unquote problem in the earlier years of my life, is I didn't understand how to sort of ward off other energies. I took it all in. And so as my consciousness of my journey began 3-4 years ago now, that was one of the first things I learned, is that you don't have to take it all on. You don't have to become the fixer of other people's energy. And through my, studies and research and all the things that I've done up to this point, I've learned how to help people affect their own energy, but also be aware of how those energies are affecting them from externally. So yeah, exactly what you said. It's all about understanding the internal, the ethereal, but also the external, and how you can affect it and how it can affect you.
Right. And that's why we talk about things like attracts like. We talk about, that old scenario I use in all my classes where, when you walk by someone who's having a bad day and you've been having this great day, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, right? The transfer of energy, people don't understand that.
They don't get it. Yeah.
I can hear Cookies upstairs barking. She's with you. She's like, yes, go Rose.
Thanks, Cookie.
I want to talk about the inner child workshop series that you do. This is phenomenal in the sense of almost every person needs to do some inner child work. And
absolutely,
I was talking to my sister-in-law, and hopefully no one's, but we were talking about inner child work that we both need to do, and how I said that her brother, who is my husband, probably could do some inner child work, but he's so nonchalant in everything that and again, he supports me in all that I do, but he's not necessarily,
but he's not down with it all.
Right. He's like, yeah, that's good. You do that.
Yeah. My partner's the same. Like, it's cool what you're doing, but don't ask me to participate.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to know about it.
I'll give you good accolades, but we were talking about this, and it really brings back something that the inner child work should be a must in it for everyone. It should be something every single person does.
Yes.
So I've only done a little bit. I've done more of what I call soul retrieval work. I provide that for people, but even I am looking at your program going, I really think I have to dive a little bit into that space and see what that's all about. So can you tell our viewers, our audience, what the inner child program series, whatever you call it, is, and why they should be, interested?
I would love to. So a little bit of a backstory, if you will, about how this all came about for me is that I'd say for the last 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, working with clients, doing readings and all the stuff that I do, childhood trauma kept coming up. And of course, I kind of question that. Like I had to kind of ego check myself a little bit. You know what I mean? Like all these people with all this childhood trauma, like what's going on here? Am I just trying to draw business to myself? And as I dug deeper into that, I realized that childhood trauma is what causes the wounded inner child. And I'm sure, like many, many other people, when I hear that phrase, childhood trauma, I'm going to the extreme, I'm going to the terrible, awful, I'm going there, because that's how we've used that phrase for so long.
No lie detected. That is the truth.
Right. So as I started to kind of dig a little deeper, okay, well, what is inner child? Like, what is a wounded inner child? What does that look like? What does that mean? And the first thing that I learned was that childhood trauma, which is what causes the wounded inner child, that childhood trauma happens any time, and I want you guys to hear this really clearly, any time a child in their formative years, so from birth to about preteen, pre-puberty, is made to feel unsafe. That is physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, all of the ways. Anytime that child is made to feel unsafe, it creates a wounded inner child. And that then grows and develops into undeveloped coping mechanisms.
Well, look at you, girlfriend.
Right? My lid flew off the top of my head when I read this, because it just made so many things click. And to your point that you made earlier about why isn't everybody looking at inner child? I was like, oh my gosh, everybody needs this. We all have to do this, because it becomes, when you look at it that way, take it to its most simplest definition, it becomes the root cause of so many other problems. You know, people dive into shadow work. I know you don't necessarily do shadow work. You have a different name for it, but at its root, it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
When we do these shadow work activities, we're learning to acknowledge and even show gratitude for the help that our shadow selves can give us, and sort of acknowledge when it's becoming harmful and kind of, but we're not getting to the root of why is it there to begin with? What happened? So as I started to answer those questions for myself, the spirit tings were going off, the light bulbs are going off, my chakras were all,
a light
pinging and pinging. And it was like, okay, this is what we need now. So what it became was a four-part program, 4 sessions with me. And you're going to love this, because as I sort of really looked at it, I realized that what it's actually doing is connecting mind, body, spirit. In the way that we are pulling together the energies of our higher self, which to me is spirit. We're pulling our conscious mind, our present selves, the physical body, and we're pulling our inner child together. Inner child being the mind, right? Those coping, the way we speak to ourselves, all those things. So we're pulling them all together in a collaborative effort to move forward and to cope with anything and everything that life brings us in a healthy way.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. It's interesting because truthfully, a lot of the physical ailments or for example, I know it's my go-to, but it's what I can speak to. The body dysmorphia comes from your childhood, and not, when I dig it a little bit deeper in, and I truly feel I'm going to take your program as soon as life settles a little bit. And it's crazy with all the things that I have going on.
So many things.
But, when you look into it, when I did a little bit of the soul retrieval work and whatnot, some of the stuff that came up was so interesting. But one of the things that came up, and it wasn't through the soul retrieval, it was just through my own kind of shadow work. But it was that the fact that my family, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, very loving family. I have very little in the way of complaints.
Yes. But
she was a control freak about food in the kitchen. You didn't go and help yourself. You didn't do that. You had to ask for food. And then it would be, well, you can wait until the thing, which led to being, finally having a job and working and having my own money and then eating out. and then having dinner at home because mom made dinner, and then everyone else was going out though. So I go, so it just led to this continuous thing with food, and then
Right.
the comfort thing, because I had control over food, even though I didn't, crazy stuff. So, you
It's
know,
the way that mind works, right?
Mhm.
Like you think you're having control by saying, well, I'm going to go eat out with my friends because that's what my friends are doing. That's what I'm into right now. But I also have to make sure that I don't cause conflict at home with mom, who's now prepared this dinner, and she'd be very upset and have
and
feelings
she
if I didn't eat
expects you
it.
to eat
And
it,
she expects me to eat it. So now I have to eat it, but I'm still in control. I'm still in control. We control ourselves into out of control.
right? We convince ourselves we're in control.
Yeah, it's the lies we tell, but exactly that, right? This comes from a childhood thing. And it's, again, it's not the automatic thought of something terrible, like it was an abusive thing. And I'm in no way minimizing that.
No, I know what you
Because
mean though.
those
You're
but
expressing
it's
that
not
it's more
just
than.
that, right? It's
Right.
something you were made to feel unsafe about being hungry. You had to do it on a
Yes.
schedule. So if I'm hungry outside of the schedule, that's a bad thing. Now
Exactly.
we've got this unsafety. So now you've got to cope with that as you grow older and become capable of making your own decisions and having that control. You're going to overcompensate by saying, I'm going to shovel it in because I can.
Well,
And
you
now we've
answered the
created
next
it.
question already. So, you know, what strengths are they going to get out of this? Well, you answered it. I mean, it's going to be empowering. It's going to be taking back that control,
Mhm.
right? Control
But,
is
but always in a healthy way. I'm never, and one thing I also want to point out is that this program is in no way condoning blaming anybody else, because we
right.
have to remember that your mom, like my mom and everybody's mom and dad and aunt and uncle and whomever was in a position of influence in our lives at those formative stages, they were dealing with their own wounded inner child.
Exactly.
And
Oh,
had no idea they needed to deal with it, right?
That is beautiful.
So it's not
Absolutely.
about blaming them or
No.
resenting them. It's just, this is what it is. This is where I'm at with it. And this is where I want to go with it.
I love it. I love it. Let's step away from the inner child for a second.
Sure.
Move back into that Reiki therapist you are. And you've made though, and this is what is cool, and this makes you unique in my books. You've made your Reiki, you know, experience for individuals a little bit spa-like. And I'm gonna be straight up here, sister. I like anything that's about pampering me.
Yes.
So I will, if I have a choice between going and getting a massage and going and getting Reiki, you're going to laugh. I will go for massage every time,
Of course.
because it's all about like pamper Tara. I love Reiki. I do. I am a 𝐔𝐸𝐻𝐸 practitioner. If you don't know what 𝐔𝐸𝐻𝐸 is, guys, you can send me a message and I'll give you more information on that. But tell us about why you're going to make this, or you are or have already made this a spa experience, and what can someone expect if they come to a Reiki session with you?
Well, I mean, what they can expect is exactly what you said. It's a spa-like experience. Reiki is not, it's been around forever, right? But it's not been a mainstream thing. I myself, the first time I remember ever hearing Reiki, I thought it was kind of hippy-dippy BS. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with that. And it was only through my own journey in that I understood it and really connected with it. But that I'm finding, or I have found, that if I just say to someone, oh, I do Reiki, they kind of get that blank, like you can almost see the question mark forming, like, what? Okay. And then you convince them to try it. And what I was finding is that after a session with me, people are like, oh my gosh, I feel so relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like I just had a massage, but from the inside. They had all these colorful ways, right, of explaining it. And I just thought, I'm kind of one of those people who always wants to do just a little bit more. Let's just do a little bit more. How can we tweak this and give them just a little bit more? And it just popped into my head one day, why don't we add some spa-like elements to it? So I went out and got a set of hot stones. Yeah. And I said, what better way to really, as you said, pamper yourself? And I am a huge advocate for self-love and self-care.
Me too.
And definitely of the physical. So this just fell right into that. And you know, let me deal with the inside stuff, but let's also take care of the outside stuff. When I do Reiki, I do obviously focus on the chakra points and things like that, but I like to also focus on places where we as human beings, especially women, tend to hold more stress and tension. So I focus on the joints a lot. I'll go
Yeah.
from the shoulders, knees, hips, ankles, all of that, wrists even, and give a little love there. So it just kind of made me think, well, if we're holding some tension there, well, if that's where we're holding that tension and we might not even realize it, maybe if we throw a little heat on it, because my massage therapist and chiropractor are always talking about put heat on it, put heat on it. So let's put some heat on it, let's focus some energy there. I always Reiki the stones before I use them, do all those things, but let's get it in there, and just hit those points where we might not. This is why we go to massage therapy, right? This is why we go there, to get that sort of tension rubbed out. Well, I might not necessarily rub it out, and that sounds dirty, sorry. But maybe just throw some heat on it, and let it just kind of sit there while I'm manipulating that energy from the inside.
I love you. I do. I love that because, you did take my Aura Essence practitioner. So you have all sorts of extra elements that were channeled from spirit that you use as well. So there is this amazing modality that you have created by learning and working with different aspects of the metaphysical world. So for me, that is just bar none. I would most definitely recommend an external as well as internal experience.
And it's that mind, body, spirit. You know what I mean? You're lying there on the table, you got the heat, so the body's being taken care of, the spirit and the mind in terms of the energy being moved through. I've really taken to that whole mind, body, spirit connection and how important it is. So this just kind of felt natural.
The power of 3 is everything.
It is. It really
is truly everything. What's the most important lesson you've learned on your spiritual journey, Boo?
Be open and trust.
Oh,
just
hallelujah.
Be open and trust.
Amen.
It was not an easy lesson to learn, I will tell you that, as I'm sure you already know. Especially the trust part. You can be open and, I love this idea, but then when you're up to bat, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know. So for me, being open enough to trust has really been the biggest eye-opener and biggest lesson.
Where are you working out of these days? I know you're based in Vancouver, BC, but where are you working out of these days?
So obviously I can do virtual things, but the physical location right now is the 𝐔𝐸𝐬𝐳 Wellness Club in New Westminster, BC.
Yeah,
and it's
love it, Oksana.
Oh man, she is unbelievable. She is so great to work with. And just the whole vibe, like every time I go in there, I feel good. I feel like I've been to the spa, not just working the spa, so to speak. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful, peaceful, and energetic location. I really love it.
Absolutely. Love it. And we are holding, Ramona and I, as well as a handful of other practitioners, are holding a fantastic retreat in September there.
Yeah, it's going to be
we'll
great.
Put the information for that in the comments and whatnot in this, as well as we'll put all of Rose information, how you can get a hold of her, how she is can be of service to you. I'm sure the inner child workshop could be done via Zoom.
Yep. I've just worked out some kind of logistical things there with that, doing it virtually, but it was really important to me to make sure that it was available to because I, like you, have clients in the US and things like that, and so it had to be accessible to them.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Final question for you, gorgeous.
Yes.
And before we get to it, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this and for, holding the energy with me. I love working with you. I feel that everyone's going to just really benefit from taking a look at what you do and participating with you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, gorgeous?
Oh, man. 5 years from now, I can see myself doing like between 3 and 11-day intensive retreats, healing retreats. Just
holy, 11 days.
There's something about
sister.
it. I know it might be a bit ambitious, but you know what? I'm going to be open and I'm going to trust. This last few months, I have made a pact to just say yes. Just say yes. You'll figure it out later, but just say yes. So I'm creating that pathway to big big, like intensive, but impactful healing retreats. That's the goal.
I love it. For all of you watching, Ramona is also part of my Facebook private group, Empowering Intuitive Souls. She will be on there. She will be doing posts and lives, answering questions.
Absolutely.
Come and join us. It is a group that is about building a sacred and safe place for the spiritual community. It is not about anything other than love and light. So come, bring your questions. If you're a practitioner, come and bring your knowledge, your wisdom. It's all of value, and we hope to see you then. Again, it's empowering intuitive women, well, souls, women, souls, men, all the same thing.
All the things.
Empowering intuitive souls. And again, Ramona, it's been a pleasure. I am going to I'm seeing you soon. So we'll talk then.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tara.
To the audience and everyone watching, stay divine, friends.
Stay divine.